Association of Financial Advisors of India in association with Resurgent India Knowledge Series presents Virtual Session on Women in Workplace, Challenges and Successes. Moderator Ms. Sonal Mehta, Senior Vice President Resurgent India Limited. Eminent speakers Ms. Aditi Bhutia Madan, Founder Director Bluepine Foods Private Limited, Brand Yankees by Momo Mami. Dr. Ananta Singh Raghuvanshi, Founder President, Nedco Mahi. Dr. Angasuya Roy, Founder CEO, Nano Safe Solutions.
Good evening, everyone. I would like to welcome each one of you to this wonderful session today. लड़की हो, घर तो संभाल लेती होगी. लड़की हो, खाना तो बना लेती होगी. लड़की हो, ये मत करो. लड़की हो, वहां मत जाओ. So these are the very common statement immediate families, but from the society in general and the people around us. So today on this occasion of Women's Day, when we're talking about, I would only like to recommend and suggest one thing that, we as women, we don't ask for quotas. We don't need any special privileges. We only believe in equality because we believe we are equal. So here we are with my eminent set of speakers who are, from diversified profiles that we have right now. All three of them carry an immense amount of experience in the sectors that they are coming up with. So first of all, we would like to welcome all my speakers on this special panel. And thank you so much for joining us here. So the speakers with us right now. So to begin with, probably, like everybody knows about Aditi. Aditi has been into fame because of Shark Tank. Everybody knows her as Momo Mami. So it's so good to have her here. So just to briefly introduce about her. So Aditi's inspiring journey from an employee to a CEO, Bluepine and Yankees, gives hope to young women to aim high, to work towards it. Learning and exploring new things, she mastered her forte, cooking, into an extraordinary talent that won her many accolades, nationally and internationally. Today, she is a symbol of hope for thousands of homemakers who cannot go out and work for themselves due to their commitments in life. She is also the real-life example of how cooking, a simple and a mundane activity for most of us, can take an ordinary woman to an extraordinary height. Learn more about the Himalayan chef, widest range of authentic cuisines based on traditional families from Himalayan region. Welcome on board, Aditi. Next speaker that we have right now is Dr. Ananta Raghuvanshi. She is the founder and president, Nedco Mahi. So a leadership speaker at TEDx, IIT Kanpur, SRCC, Cambridge, UK Asia Summit, Seeding STEM, and many more. A corporate leader with 3 decades of dedicated service at the real estate sector. She has held the positions of Executive Director at DLF, CEO at MRMGF, Country Head India at Denmark, and Senior Executive Director at Experion. She stands for exemplary leadership and exceptional results. She has launched and managed more than 100 projects and authored over 30 articles. Welcome on board, Ananta ma'am. So good to have you. My next speaker is Dr. Angasuya Roy, founder and CEO of Nano Safe Solutions. Dr. Angasuya Roy is the founder and the Chief Executive Officer of Nano Safe Solutions, a technological startup in collaboration with IIT Delhi, and an academic spin-off from her doctoral research work at IIT Delhi. Dr. Anusaya Roy has completed a PhD degree from Indian Institute of Technology, Delhi in 2019 in the area of antimicrobial polymer non-composite for biomedical applications. She is also a recipient of Biotechnology Ignition Grant sponsored by DBIT in 2019. She was also a DAD Research Fellow for IIT DAD Master Scholarship Program, in which she carried out research work on polymeric composites at the University of Stuttgart, Germany. She has contributed 11 published papers in peer-reviewed journals in 3 books chapters. Currently, she's focusing on developing antimicrobial functionized nanomaterials and polymeric nanocomposite material augmented with active copper for multi-fold applications. Welcome on board, Ms. Roy. So, very amazing to read what the kind of work you've been doing, and really would love to understand sometime with you in person about the technology thing that you're working on right now. Because, I, as an outsider from the technology side, don't understand much on this, but would love to attend much on that. So we would love to start this session with a couple of questions, which I can start with my eminent speakers. To begin with, first I would like to start with Aditi. So Aditi, being a woman founder, what are the challenges faced, and how has the Shark Tank brought a change in the business?
Yeah, hi, good afternoon, everyone, and thank you so much. Wonderful, all women panelists as well, and happy Women's Day in advance to all of us. So, yes, being I would say being an entrepreneur, right? Uh, uh, Challenges are every day, and especially in the food sector that I belong to, right? The industry that I'm in, and starting from Himalayas and coming to Delhi NCR and starting something on my own, being a first generation entrepreneur, there are humongous number of challenges that comes. And even after that, even if when you have reached some place, even that after that also, every day there are different kinds of challenges in food sector. But challenges and is part of an entrepreneur's journey. To embrace the challenges and uncertainties and travel and navigate through those uncertainties only makes us more stronger and more learned, right? So that's how the journey has been. And the ecosystem that you would like to speak about, I would like to focus upon the ecosystem that is there. Is that we have to balance the work front and home front as well. We as entrepreneurs, we call us as female entrepreneurs, have to balance the ecosystem in the home front and work front, and create genuine efforts to balance it. It's not a single day effort, it's a long effort, it's a long journey, but we have to put the right genuine efforts in it, be in the work front, be in the home front as well. I'll quote an example, right? When I even started before my entrepreneurial journey, my mother-in-law, she was hospitalized with cancer, and she was a cancer patient. She came out, and she had, that time we were in Jaipur, but my full dedication was there at that point of time, right? So I was not overly so much attached to my idea or my product or my venture. So sometimes we need to detach ourselves to you know let grow the organization on its own, and also focus on the immediate aspect of family also, so there's balance. And entrepreneurial journey is such that we need to keep walking the path. It's not about a one day run, it's not about a marathon even, it's about the entire life. And the whole life process that we are in an entrepreneur's journey, if we understand, are aware of the awareness, if there is, that it's a long journey. It's not a 1 week, 1 month, 1 year journey. Then we'll be automatically be able to balance the ecosystem of home and work front also. And by also giving the support to the organization to grow on its own, we are able to sometimes identify our problems, real problems. When we detach ourselves for a very short time from our organization, we are able to understand and make it more structured and more organized later, right? And then the team also, we are able to identify who is the right team, who is going to walk my path in a long run, right? So there are a lot of things. The challenges, if I would have written about my life, it will be volumes of books. But owing to the speaker session and with the time that we have, I would like to say that challenges will grow you more and more. So you outgrow more as an individual, as an entrepreneur. You'll and also the same time, the venture is evolving, right? The venture is evolving, but the but one shouldn't walk away, one shouldn't quit from the entrepreneur path. If one has really thought in his or her mind that I'm going to become an entrepreneur, and I've become an entrepreneur, not just a businesswoman, then she will never quit. It's a burden of responsibility that has been shouldered on us by the society. It's a huge responsibility. But हाँ, responsibility, जिम्मेदारी के साथ जवाबदारी भी आएगी. And with that, we have a responsibility towards a family also. So the entrepreneurs, it's the entrepreneurs, it's like a circus में जो joker होता है ना, example, how he balances and all with laughter and fun and everything. It's their journey. It's their ability that also showcases that how able you as a leader you are, right? Because ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए कि I've taken the path of the entrepreneurship and tomorrow I say, oh my God, like, I didn't assume that this much of problems or challenges would have come. The challenges could be because of policies, because of changes in policy, because
Could
of
be anything.
market situations, everything, right? But you have
True.
to face it, because you have to understand with the awareness that it's part of the process that you have taken the step into. And everything will become very easy to navigate through. Then it will be like like a river flowing to the ocean.
Very true.
And yes,
how has been the Shark Tank journey? Post Shark Tank.
Yes, Shark Tank. Yes, Shark Tank. Thanks to Shark Tank, that Shark Tank came to India and gave the awareness of what an entrepreneur's true life is, how an entrepreneur goes and navigates through a life, and what is the point, like situation that is going through one's entrepreneur's journey, right? So this has been able to understand by all the audience, all the family, homemakers, parents, in-laws, everyone. Now there's a huge respect that has come up. Otherwise, पहले जब हम शुरू करते थे, when I started, I couldn't even describe what am I actually doing. Like I'm going to be have a startup. I'm going to do something on my. क्या जरूरत है? पैसे पूरे नहीं पड़ रहे. उतना तो घर में पूरा पड़ जाता. But that's not the only reason. The entrepreneur thinks differently. That's not the only purpose, that you want to earn money, you want to have a lot of money, so you want to do something. It's not that sometimes. So we need to make them understand and convince the families also. Then they will understand, because somewhere or the other I also believe that the families, females जो होते हैं, वो भी उनके दिल में कहीं ना कहीं ये entrepreneur छुपा होता है, which sometimes or the other it got subdued.
हाँ, because we run the home, तो आधे entrepreneurs हम वैसे ही होते हैं, पूरा घर चलाते हैं.
So उनका वो जो emotions है उसको जगाना है. But so Shark Tank India has brought that wave. And due to Shark Tank India, people like us, me, like coming from Himalayas, एक Momo Mami को एक platform मिला, and I didn't shy away from being called as Momo Mami, but rather it has made me more privileged. So it's a platform that now people know who is Momo Mami, right? And it's a platform where rural sectors, any very very remote sectors, women can focus on becoming an entrepreneur and reach that platform to showcase that what she or he has the ability to do, the creativity, the strength that she has that sparkle in our eyes that I can also do it. And Shark Tank has given that confidence, and with the training that is going on post season 1, 2 and 3, now we have been learning the numbers, the jargons, and many terminologies, and everybody's been understanding. And there's so much of there's so much, the economy is like booming, and also uh, and Shark Tank has been a great catalyst to this factor, that it is raising more and more entrepreneurs, right? It is giving
Right.
more confidence to the parents who are very they had a lot of stigma around it. Nahi
कि
entrepreneur nahi
startup
banna,
है,
you have to.
चलेगा नहीं चलेगा. So yeah,
Yes.
I totally understand. The startup culture has tremendously increased in last 3 years. So I think a lot of credit goes to Shark Tank for that.
Yes, yes,
Very good.
and yes, thanks to Shark Tank India and my individual journey, you can see that I'm called as Mo Mami nationally, internationally. I've been known. There are a lot of demands for our products. There are a lot of queries. They want to know what is Blue Pine Foods doing. They want to collaborate. They want
Hmm.
to help us grow as well. It's not only they want the product as a demand as a product, but also they want to support me as an individual, as an entrepreneur. Also, they want to be part of our journey. So there are many ways where people are wanting to get associated with us. And because of Shark Tank India, we have been able to voice out and speak about us and share our journey over there, and a lot of respect. Yes, thank you so much. Yes.
Wonderful, wonderful, Aditi. The journey and the challenges that we're talking about right now, I think it's very inspiring for first-time entrepreneurs, where they can at least look at examples like you and start planning something. My next question will go to Dr. Ananta Raghuvanshi. Ma'am, coming in from the real estate and the leadership backgrounds that you're talking about right now, what steps can organizations take to combat the motherhood penalty phenomena, where women face discrimination and career setbacks after becoming mothers? Like we were discussing some time back, whenever a hiring manager is hiring a mother, so automatically, even if the hiring manager herself is a woman or a mother, so that thought is always there, okay, probably she's a mother. So, probably we can negotiate on a salary with her, or she'll come at a lesser salary. Whereas, when it comes to a father who is a man, there is no discussion on the salary part, or there's no negotiation on the salary part there. So why there is discrimination there?
Hi, Sonal, and a very happy Women's Day to everybody. Uh, Sonal, it's such a sensitive issue, but it is a real issue.
Yeah.
The fact is that when you are hiring a new mother, post her maternity leave or something, when you're hiring fresh, there is always that attraction that talent acquisition teams have, that, okay, she could possibly come at a lower price. My suggestion and my honest request to everybody is that never do that. Because if somebody deserves something, and if you give them less than what they are capable of based on their experience and qualifications, everybody knows what pay scales are and what one deserves. You give them less than that, then you are only going to be a stopgap organization, which is even more costly to you. There's a cost to hiring, rehiring. Similarly, when there is an existing employee of yours who you wish to have back, then my suggestion would be, don't be penny wise and pound foolish. Make sure you bring that person back at a raise. Also, little things like, maybe, for most of us have one child or maximum two children these days. But if you could actually give half a day off or a day off for their birthdays to mothers, it goes a long way, because everybody's going to take the day off to celebrate their child. They may not do so on their birthday, but for their children, it's a done thing that you will throw a party, you will take that break. The organization's softer image does wonders for their reputation as well. If a class of 40, 50 kids is coming and their parents are dropping them, picking them at your place, oh my, you work there? And oh, they gave you the day off? Wow, what a wonderful organization. It speaks volumes of what you are, and let me be very honest with you. The little baby who comes with you also kind of becomes attached to the organization you are associated with.
Absolutely.
Saturdays, their schools are off. Sometimes they are coming to drop you. Sometimes they're coming to pick you up. They are socializing with your colleagues and people around during that little time. And it gets them so attached. They have a sense of belonging with that organization or that brand that you're working with or for. So why lose out on a future customer who is so dedicated to you and tom-toms you and your organization all the way? These little things go such a long way. I would share my own personal experience here. My little son Om, when he was born, I was working with DLF, and there were very few women there. But at the same time, we did have HR head who was a woman. We had senior people in legal who were women, and some of us in sales who were women. Now, sales marketing. So, Sonal, I had thought once Om was born, and I thought I'm not going to work for a while, and I wanted to bring up my baby my way and
The normal
myself.
thought any mother has, right?
Yeah, yeah. So I actually did not have an intent of going back. So they waited for a while for me to join back, and then they said, "Okay, fine. Why don't you come with Om and spend half a day in the office? We all anyway want to meet him. So if all of us land up, it doesn't make sense. You just come and at least show us what Om is like, and everything, and just come for half a day, interact with all of us." And it's an easy period going, and there are these phases with property when everybody is so busy, and then the school scene. So why don't you just come over and we'll all have lunch and then you leave? I said, okay. When I entered the office, my baby was immediately taken away. He was a playful baby. Okay. So he was playing with the receptionist. He was playing with the telephone operator. He was all over the place. He was
Wow.
busy munching on brownies, godi mein. पूरे में घूम के सबको कहते हम मिलाए आएंगे मैम, you interact with your team. I walked in the middle of action. ये क्या हो रहा है? ये क्या हो रहा है? ये क्या हो रहा है? And that switch on, switch off is so good with us. When you switch into the office, you are so focused. When you're leaving office, you're so focused. I don't know where that half day went away. Ma'am, what should we do about this? What should we do about that? I was completely absorbed and immersed when it was time for me to leave. Happily given, well fed, smiling, happy, given to me. And then they said, "Acha, Abab, go and have a discussion in HR, whatever you've decided." And she, Mrs. Madhu Gambhir was the HR head at that time, and she told me one thing. She says, "You know what, Ananta? He is going to be very well looked after, because my mother-in-law was there, my mother was there. He's got loving grandparents. He's going to be very well looked after. But another few years, he's going to school. Before you know it, couple of years, he's going to school. And when he leaves for college and you start looking out for something, your talent, everything would have been wasted." And, what do you think about that? Before I could think about it and the conversation got over, the then executive director called me to his room. He says, "Oh, I came to know, I saw you on the CCTVs. You're all over the office. We are so delighted to have you back."
Okay, so they had all planned it so well.
So we are so delighted to have you back, and let us know what's comfortable for you. They know how sincere I am. I'm not going to ask for any favors. I'm not going to ask for extra time. I'm not going to, if either I'm all in or I'm all out. There's no midway with me. Why would I want to be treated differently from the men when I'm competing only with men? I had no women to compete with, right?
Even at that point, Abhi, still we have a lot of women in real estate, but I can understand that point of time.
Yeah. So and every time I tried to tell him that, listen, actually, Miss Poonam Madan from legal, Miss Madhu Gambhir from HR had called me, and we had this conversation. He was like, "Oh, good, very good, this, that, and the other." And I'm so grateful to them, because both of them were working mothers as well. They became mothers a little before me. That was all. And they were managing it without any support in that sense. Om had 4 voting grandparents, but they didn't have that wide a setup. Maybe they had, but not that kind of a setup at that time. So I that is, thank God I came back. I
Hmm.
did so much after that. My PhD happened after that. My TED talk happened after that. I mean, if I had stayed home, I couldn't have been the executive director for DLF or the country head for DMAC, or so many joys came out of that. Of course, there's no bigger joy than motherhood. I would touch wood for those who've experienced it. And of course, those who love their pets or love their kids or even love their elders or parents, whoever you stay with. But nurturing for women is very satisfying. We're talking about motherhood. Nurturing in any sense is very satisfying, for women. So I'm so glad I did that. And I would, in fact, go a step further. If I was an entrepreneur like Aditi, and I was running my own setup, I would even say that, okay, jab offsites weekends pe kar rahe ho aap, to why leave the kids behind? Your event
Take it
manager can
along.
definitely plan for the kids to be in a room. They can be mentally prepared. Baby, you are coming with me, but I might be busy with other things. You'll have to just be happy with the other kids. In the army, the reason why the bonds are so strong, Sonal, is because every family is meeting every other family every week. The clubs, the messes, the interactions, the social interactions get
Yeah.
converted to very strong emotional bonds.
Hmm. True.
So that those type of, I think, networks that get created go really a long way. Informally to वैसे भी बनी जाते हैं, if there are 3-4 girls with kids in a similar age group. And like I said, I would go steps beyond. If I'm in a position, if I'm a owner, if I'm in a position to secure admissions, why would I not ask another builder, look guys, you've made the school, this is your school. If you have any say, why don't you block X number of seats for our kids in that school? Of course, they may want to go to better school. You can go to the best that you want in the world, but at least एक seat तो है हमारे बच्चों के लिए.
At least, one option is ready.
Little things. Think of everything that is bothering her, and if you can remove it without a cost to you, why not do it? Let them pay for the creche, let them pay for the lunch that they are getting.
But at least provide the infrastructure.
Things off your to-do list. I mean, very few of us are actually cooking at home. We all have help which comes and cooks and packs the lunches and all that. That's another hour or two of your list.
Very true.
So many little things. So what are the things that could be bothering or disturbing her? And how can that time be put productively into her work? So ideas are unlimited. And like Aditi said, we can go on and on. But I'm just telling you a few little things, Even a simple thing like the introduction of a uniform, you will be surprised, Sonal. So many young mothers, newly married they were so... They said, oh, lovely, these Vichitra saris and Nalli saris which came for them. They said, thank God. Ab roz ka jhanjhat nahi hai hame.
Rose kapde nahi dhoondne padenge. We know what to wear.
They were so thrilled. And I used to think, how am I going to convince my sales team that now you can't wear whatever you want and look like this cool person, or you display your own personality with your kind of clothes. I tell them to
That's you're helping them.
So a lot of things happen, this way. Let's face it, there are only 3 constants in life: change, choice, and principles. Let us work on these 3 with joy, as an individual, as a professional, as a human being.
True. No, very well said, ma'am. So I think, for any woman who's planning to get back post her maternity leave, so these are, a couple of questions which keep bubbling on. And I know a lot of women who've not been able to join back even after 6 years, 7 years. At a later stage, they realize, that was the biggest blunder. But probably sometimes the family is not that supportive, or sometimes that support system is not there, and obviously at that point of time the child becomes the main focus. So situations sometimes makes it difficult to join back, but given a choice, I think that you should take is your career is equally important than your family. So it's like, you need to maintain a balance between your career and family. That counts for it. Great. So let me go back to Dr. Roy now. So, Anusuya, when you're talking about how can an organization actively involve men in discussions and initiatives aimed at promoting gender equality in a workplace?
Very, very good evening, one and all. I was mesmerized by what Aditi and Dr. Ananta had to say. I was patiently, listening to them, and I was kind of lost in their whatever they had to say. Of course, I deeply relate to whatever that you guys had to say about how to manage work life and all. So I come from a background of, core science and technology, and so I did my masters as well as my PhD from IIT Delhi, and post completion of my
I think
PhD.
that's a dream college for most of the engineering students that we talk about.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
go ahead. Yeah.
So, I mean, after completion of my PhD, we incorporated NanoSafe Solutions, which is the startup that I'm running now. So, if I talk about my journey as a woman entrepreneur, let me go back to being a women student first at IIT. So, when because I was associated with IIT throughout my masters and PhD, which was near about 7 to 8 years, so a lot of people in IIT knew me. And so then I was a student, so I was a very involved student. I was actively participating in everything, a lot of extracurricular activities I used to do. I used to be the first general secretary of the Textile Engineering Society, which was the
Wow.
departmental engineering society for organizing cultural events. Not only the first female student, but also the first PhD to kind of do that kind of work, because PhDs do not normally involve themselves in these kind of activities. Those are mainly taken care by BTech, but I was very
Graduates, huh?
a student, yeah. So I did that. So that kind of created a lot of a lot of people knew me from that instance. I used to do a lot of dance shows also. So I had
Okay.
kind of I was kind of the go-to girl at that point of time. And when post my PhD, when we started NanoSafe, and when my son Archie came into my life, it was a very gradual transition. So people at IIT, and because I was there at IIT even after while in my incubation phase when NanoSafe was just incorporated, so a lot of people could not even figure out any change in me. So they always
Interesting. Yeah.
saw me. I could feel that they saw me as the girl that I used to be when I was doing my PhD or my masters. But then I had also become a mother, and that to a very young mother. And I think the challenges that young mother faces, and especially first time mother faces, is very, And I come from Kolkata, and to Delhi to me is a different state altogether.
Right.
Yeah. And anybody who lives in Delhi would know the level of difficulty one faces to, for school admission. That is something that,
Project. It's a bigger
so
project. Yeah,
yes, it's a 6 months thesis work, you can say.
absolutely. No,
so
I
so
completely agree. Yeah. Go ahead, please. Yeah.
So, as a young mother, I mean, that transition was very subtle for me. My colleagues, my peers, even my teachers and faculties at IIT did not ever see any change in me while I was navigating through, completion of PhD plus being a mother plus incorporating a startup, and all of that happened very simultaneously within 1 to 2 months of of each other. So my a startup incorporation happened in 2019 October, and my son was born in September 2019. So this was just 1 month gap, and so it was kind of raising both the babies together.
I was
Uh,
just about to say, so it was like, raising two babies together.
yes,
Right.
yes.
Yeah.
And for the first 4 5 months, my startup was pre-revenue, which made it a little, simpler in the sense that I could kind of, balance, because I had a team that time and I was managing virtually about how to go about it. But when we launched, when the first lockdown happened, that was around May 2020.
Mhm.
April 2020. We were the first ones to launch a
Right.
antimicrobial mask, which is called the NSafe. And when it was a very high demand product at that point of time, because COVID was just beginning, and a lot of people were kind of searching for masks. Masks were not there in the market. And when we launched the mask, there was this huge demand coming in, and it was that at that point of time, and my son was 4.5 months old. So it was at that point of time I realized what work life balance really means. So it was lockdown, it was COVID, we were at home, but then we were so much engulfed in this project of of this because the business started picking up, a lot of orders came, so lot of work had to be done. And so my son was used to me to be around him full time, because the previously it was like that only. But when this happened, there was he used to kind of cry a lot in the beginning, and kind of
Sure.
um,
Yeah.
throw tantrums, that why I'm not here. But gradually that kind of fell into place, and that is where I'm coming from. Some habitual or some sensitization has to be there. You asked about the question of how men should be brought on the table to talk about these issues. So I felt during my journey that these kind of issues are very sensitive issues, and there has to be a lot of sensitization around this topic. And when we are and that would also include the leadership position men as well, because it is through them the executives or the people in the hierarchy kind of kind of look up to, or kind of imbibe those values from them. So it should be them who should be inculcating this culture throughout the organization or throughout the hierarchy of the manpower of the company. That is something that is very, very important. And when the leadership behaves in a certain manner, then the company's values cultures also grow in that certain fashion. So that is definitely one thing that is very important. The other thing is awareness. Awareness is something that is uh, till now, unfortunately, it is kind of on the lower side. That sometimes I experience the issues regarding not only childbirth and the kind of problems that a women face pre-childbirth and post-childbirth is something that men, even educated men, do not have enough knowledge about. And postpartum, a lot of things happen.
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah, postpartum, a lot of things happen from the mental side as well as from the physical side. And I was when I was going through these problems, I realized that it's not that men do not want to understand, it is just that nobody even told them. Nobody made them sit across a table and told them that these are the problems that we are facing right now, and we would like to have your help in ABC manner. So I feel that awareness is something that is missing. It's kind of it's kind of it was very surprising for me to understand that, but it is a sad reality that this awareness programs is a must need right now in the present structure. And I mean, to give you an example, of course, I mean, I think I was a person who never took a leave. So I was working till the day Archie was born, and post Archie was born also I was constantly either on the phone or I was going around as well. But there are problems associated with feeding post childbirth, right? So these are problems that nobody discusses also, even when we walk
Concern
in a,
for a mother also. So it's like, probably she's also going through a lot of stress, a lot of trauma, and probably you don't expect fathers to, understand, because unless and until you discuss with them, they will not realize. So for
that's
them,
exactly,
yeah,
that is the exact point I was coming to, that
yeah.
it is not that they're not willing to help, but it's not that they're turning a blind eye to our problems. It's just that nobody made them sit across the table and told them that, see, this is what is happening. So post,
And they need support, right?
yes, yes. So
Hmm.
I think still the awareness is on the higher side. When I talk about prepartum and I talk about pregnancy, still the awareness is there because something is visible on the outside. But postpartum, that
Hmm.
sensitization is completely lost. I mean, once the woman reaches office, and there are other problems associated. I think men are clueless about what is happening with us, and we need to kind of tell them that, see, this is where we need the support. So awareness is something that is definitely there. um again, once awareness comes in, there will be accountability as well. They will understand that, okay, this is the part that
Needs to
is
be
that,
taken care by them.
yes, and this is what we should do to kind of uplift the whole situation further. um, Talking about my organization, I have a male co-founder, and um, I have never felt, luckily, fortunately for me, I have never felt that I come from this women gender. um we always, I felt that I'm gender neutral, and so is he. So when we were leading together, when we were doing meetings together, when we are building the company together, I never felt that the gender gap existed uh, between us. And that is a wonderful thing to feel. Really, really great feeling that kind of emanates from the relationship that we have. But having said that, I have faced my um, own challenges of being, being cornered as a woman. So if I tell an example, I was always, in bachelor's also, I was doing a lot of extracurricular activities, and I tried to run for the general secretary there as well. And there were other male candidates along with me, and somehow I felt that during that time the discrimination is just because of my gender, because everybody knew the kind of capacity that I had versus the kind of capacity the others have.
Very common. Very, very common situation. Right.
Yes, yes. So I think that kind of before that I never faced anything that kind of induced a gender bias. But post that incident, I did realize that I am from the uh, women gender, and these kind of problems would be there in the future. But in nanosafe, we are more women than men. So in so in our organization, we feel that the men are getting cornered. So they are not heard enough. So yeah, so kind of, it's a funny thing that we joke about in the organization. But yes, so I think the tables are slowly turning. People are, especially in entrepreneurship, people are more open towards um, hiring both the genders. There is no gender discrimination, mainly because I feel startup ecosystem is a newly growing ecosystem, and the kind of values that startup ecosystem
It's not changing. Things are absolutely changing for positive. So I think a lot of changes from the society also that we talk about. They have also started accepting slowly that women have been contributing, and women also have to work. So even though from the society side, I think things are slowly changing to that place. And yes, like you likely said, that awareness is important both at home as well at office. When you talk about that, men have to be made aware that they have to take responsibility, or they have to take ownership. And secondly, very good thing is the culture. So if you are at a leadership role, it's a culture which defines your organization. So it has to come from leadership. Unless and until the leaders are clear about that the gender diversities have to be taken care, it will not flow in the system. So I personally feel, when we do meetings, or when we do board meetings and we discuss about marketing budgets, we discuss about growth plans, gender diversity has to be a part of it, where you have to talk about that if that's being taken care or not. So I think, that's a very, very common thing which needs to be taken up seriously by the management, be it a male founder, be it a female founder, but they have to make sure that women who are working in the organization are taken care. Yeah, perfect. No, very well said, Anu. So I'll get back to you on the discussion further on that. So coming back to you, Aditi, on this, what are the some effective strategies for promoting work-life balance, especially for women with caregiving responsibilities? Matlab, caregiving responsibilities generally when you're talking about doctors or nurses, sometimes they have very odd working hours also. So, what are some effective strategies for promoting work-life balance with them, which you think needs to be done?
Yes, so that's also one of the important factor in an entrepreneur's journey, and especially if you're asking about doctors and all, how they balance. I can only imagine and experience through what I see from outside, but not from inside. But yes, as a person who is an entrepreneur, I think work-life balance is very much important, and also like one needs to be emotionally sound and fit as well, as a person, as a human being, as an individual, right? So that she or he can give more, more and more support to the ecosystem that's asking for. Ecosystem in the means like patients, in terms of doctors, right? For teachers it can be students, right? And for an entrepreneur, it can be her stakeholders and her vendors, suppliers, customers as well, right? So if an entrepreneur is mentally or emotionally not sound and not stable from inside out, uh, it would be very, very difficult to navigate those uh, path of be a job or be an entrepreneurial life, or anything in fact, right? So to take care of oneself also, first one needs to understand that, hey, like, you are not a you are a superwoman, but you need to, sometimes, as I said earlier also, detach yourself, right? Sometimes you have to be able to detach yourself from what is going around you. You need to also assign your task or some responsibilities and shoulder it to someone else who's capable of. So then you are also building a culture, that doctor is also saying, right? So that you are able to build a culture, also understand who your capable team is, and shoulder the responsibility, so that you are mentally, emotionally fit to become a true leader, and also give the roles to different team, so that they also grow along with you, right? So the ecosystem in, like example, at home, for my case, in my case example, if I say, my mother-in-law, she understood and supported me during my journey of entrepreneurship, when I was taking
Wow.
incubation, when I was in incubation and I was going through the classes, and it was about 1.5 year long incubation program with NSRCI in Bangalore, right? And it was during the COVID era, and
Okay.
she used to support me. She knew all day we would be having our online classes and everything, and she used to support me with, beta, like, you keep attending your classes, do your homework and everything, I'm here behind you. So you need to create that confidence. It's a both way situation. Until and unless we are ready to, bring in someone in our life, and make our purpose, my example, what's my vision, my purpose, and the passion for the food industry, and what we are building with Blue Pine Foods and Yankees by Momami. If I will not incorporate all my ecosystem in the same path, aligned together in one direction, then it will be so easier to navigate life, it will be so simpler to navigate life then, because everybody will understand and support you. And okay, today you are not, like example, आपको कहीं मीटिंग में जाना है, घर में मेहमान आ रहे, okay, don't worry, we are there behind you, we'll handle it, we understand. And if there is some situation that I need to really be at home, or with my families or in-laws example, then there are teams who are handling the
We're able to
ground
support.
operations and scenario, right? So because we have given them the leverage to handle things, and we are also making them a better leaders, better team leaders who can function independently as well. And when you go back to your system and see that kuch thodi mistakes will happen, we are all humans, it's a part and parcel of life and process of everything. So with that mistakes, we then overcome, like understand what were the mistakes, and we can help and navigate and correct it also. Sometimes we are so much emotionally attached to the entire thing that we tend to overlook many things. By detaching ourselves, it only helps in us, and also the venture as well. So similar way, my ecosystem has been my great strength in what and how I've been able to travel. Aditi Madan as Momo Mami, how I've been able to travel my journey of life of an employee to a housewife to an entrepreneur. It's only because of the balance between the ecosystem in both aspects, in terms of the venture and in terms of the family as well, right? And husband was also there, even though he's working, he's a corporate employee, right? He's there to
Mhm.
support. He understands that some things, some priorities cannot be changed, and they need someone who is to look after. So he was there behind me to take care of parents, sometimes in crisis situations, sometimes in terms of very emergency situations, right? And when so it's sometimes like what we sometimes also do is like he takes care of my families, or suppose my family, whoever is coming, and there is an emergency or need in terms of medical attention or anything also, and I'm there with his family. So both of them
Yeah,
are in
yeah.
so much love with us also, because he's taking care of my, so there's a emotionally, mentally, there's a balance between the families also, ki like हमारा दामाद बहुत अच्छा है या हमारा जमाई बहुत अच्छा है, and like for me also, okay, my daughter-in-law takes care of me, right? So
I think
so
bonding
that,
is important, right?
yes, bonding is very important. And the first thing is sometimes we get too much attached also with our like kids and children. We don't let them be with their grandparents. Example, in the ecosystem, if there's a joint family, one should be very very thankful and feel lucky, because uh, they are there who will yeah, bring your child up with lot of love and care, right? उस तरीके का प्यार कोई और दे नहीं सकता. So uh, so as mothers who are doctors, teachers, scientists, or engineers or entrepreneurs also, they have to take the support from the ecosystem. They have to,
Absolutely.
yes,
100%.
sometimes give trust that your husbands or even
Ecosystem.
you were brought up by your parents, so आपके बच्चे के साथ कोई गलत नहीं हो सकता. So you give it to their your grandparents, make them grow, right? Be part of the family. So it's then your husband also is mentally, like, very comfortable and sound, because he's seeing that orchestra being played, which is like very very beautiful music, like it's like a beautiful music, right? The family is in so much of harmony.
Harmony. I think
Then
that's important.
yes,
Absolutely. I
yes, so
think,
then yes, one doesn't get pressurized also with work. If there is a lot of work pressure, yes, you need to identify the right team to navigate.
prioritize.
Yes, yes,
Prioritize and work-life balance, I think, is very, very important. And
yes,
creating a right ecosystem that you're talking about, I think very crucial for
yes.
a
And
peaceful transition.
yes, and also, if, as I said again, I'm just repeating for the last time, like if the founder or the entrepreneur or the doctor or scientist is not mentally sound or emotionally fit, it would be so much difficult. There will be so much of problems. Then after a time, it will come to a breakdown mode,
Hmm.
right? Then you'll be any one of us would be seeking a therapist. Then at that point of time, it will need so much of correction. So it's better to be
Absolutely.
aware. Awareness is one key thing that has helped me navigate easily. So being aware, it has helped me कि ये सारे problems तो part and parcel of like ये entrepreneurial journey है, and ये problems, ये set of problems तो food
आने ही
processing
है.
industry में होता ही है. So just being
Right.
aware कि ये आएगा और जाएगा. So this will keep coming and going. There's no end. So you then joyfully live your life with those challenges. It will be much more comfortable. So then also not taking back to homes, like बहुत सारी चीजें unnecessary की चीजें
Work-life
discuss नहीं
balance.
करना. Yeah.
Right.
So
वर्क लाइफ
yes,
बैलेंस if we talk about कि जो ऑफिस में है उसको ऑफिस में छोड़ जाओ अगले दिन वहीं से पिकअप कर लेना
yes,
unless and until it is something कि it's the end of the world. So
yes.
that's all. No, I think for women, especially when you're talking about
We
work
yes.
life balance becomes very important.
Yeah,
Right.
we sometimes discuss too much also.
Hmm.
प्रॉब्लम उतना बड़ा होता नहीं कि हम उसको
हम
इमेजिनेशन में
डिस्कस
इतना
करते
बड़ा बना देते हैं कि then we get overwhelmed, and then what happens, then it stops you, it become your own hurdle,
हैं. Right. Very
so
true.
yes.
No, very well said, Aditi. I think you've covered a lot of thoughtful points, which every woman should take it as work-life balance, okay, or if you're talking about creating an ecosystem, because unless and until you create an ecosystem, you will not be able to work at peace, and peace is very important when it comes to working or when it comes to decision making. So, very crucial part of a work culture that we talk about. Thank you so much, Aditi. So I'll come back to you for the next one. Dr. Ananta, this one is for you again. So, ma'am, how can organizations create safe channels for women to report work-life challenges without fear of retaliation or being marginalized?
So,
And that-
Sonal, I think organizations, professional organizations, always have those safe channels where a woman can come and speak her mind. The POSH committees are there, the Vishaka committees are there, they're always there. But the truth is that it is never
They've not been
felt as
approached.
though it is a safe channel.
Right.
Today, even if I was uncomfortable about something, in spite of having 3.5 decades of experience, you will always question the situation. Log kya kahenge? Half the fingers will point at me. Should I do it? Should I let it pass? Should I give the benefit of doubt? These things always cloud us. And that is why what happens is, as a result of that, even though the safe channel is there, the organization has provided you a safe channel, you may or may not approach it. What is worse is you will go and talk to a best friend, you'll go and talk to your lunch partner, you'll go and talk here and there. And then at the time when you actually get the courage to go and use that safe channel, by then things have already got messed up.
Situations got worse.
Prejudices
Right.
are there, a lot of confusion is there. My request and suggestion to every single working woman, based on my 3.5 decades of experiences, that please speak up. When I was a little girl, my father had taught me, something in school must have happened, but I don't remember what exactly happened, but I do remember what he said. And he said, "Beta, you're a very sensitive child, but sometimes you just need to teach people how to treat you." That
Right.
thought stayed back with me from a very young age, Sonal. That some people are nice, they will behave with you the way they should be behaving with you. Others, you might just have to teach them how to treat you because you're a different person. Every human being is different. And once you tell them what you like and what you don't like being done to you or said to you or what type of behavior, they will know it. So just
Absolutely.
teach them how to treat you. So the point here I'm trying to make is two things happen in a workplace. All right. One is I completely resonate with what Aditi ji and Anusuya ji said, and both of them have experienced it. So I'm sure every successful girl would have experienced it. Firstly, there is no shortcut to success. There is a rough road, there is a tough road. It emotionally drains you, it physically drains you, academically drains you in every which way. There is no easy path, socially also, professionally also, everywhere. So, like Thomas Jefferson said, I find the harder I work, the more luck I seem to have. People end up seeing that, oh, she got this, she's lucky. But actually, she was working harder than everybody else. So she got
Nobody
it.
knows the journey. Everybody can only see the
Exactly.
result, but nobody knows the journey.
Correct. So, one of the problems which happens all over the world with women is the tall poppy syndrome. You stand out as an outlier because you are brighter, you're more successful, you're more sorted, you have more ideas, your implementation, execution skills may be better, you are more dedicated, devoted, so you stand out like a tall poppy. Now, what happens with a tall poppy when you stand out? You irritate a lot of people around you without wanting to. So wherever the jealousies come, these are normal human emotions. Jealousies will come, insecurities will come. When those happen, instead of celebrating your success, instead of setting you as an example for others, ki dekho ye kya kar rahi hai, what organizations try to do for peace, for the sake of peace. And see, ultimately 20% यहाँ है, 20% यहाँ है और
बैलेंस
बाकी सब
बनाना
बीच में है. आप majority को happy रखने के लिए you start clipping the tall poppy. So you try to say ज्यादा तारीफ कर दी तो ज्यादा उड़ेंगे. They don't celebrate your wins. They don't recognize you. Your promotions come to you with everybody else. And as a result, who suffers? Only the organization. Because जो tall poppy attitude वाला इंसान है, कितना ही मुश्किल रास्ता हो, आप तो अपना mountain pass बना के निकल ही जाओगे. You will reach the summit. If you have decided, if you are determined, आप सोओगे नहीं, आप खाओगे नहीं, आप पियोगे नहीं till you've achieved your goal, because that is how star performers are.
100%. I completely agree. So yes,
You will find your way.
Yeah.
You are not getting affected. You are anyway self-motivated. And
an
wherever you will be
organization.
sitting, you will be doing what you have to do, because that is your persona, that is your personality. You cannot change.
True.
But the organization loses out. So therefore, it is a request to all leaders, all HODs, all HR personnel, please identify your tall poppies and please
Promote
give
them.
them support and put them in the
Absolutely.
right vase so that they are beneficial to your P&L. आप अपने मतलब के लिए ही सही काम कर लो, पर करो.
100%.
That's one thing. Second thing that happens is to overachieving women is also microaggressions. And these are very bad, because as a woman, you can't go to Posh, you can't go to Vishaka. Even if there is a safe passage and there is a person wanting to hear you, you cannot even go there. You know, because आते जाते आपको किसी ने कुछ बोल दिया, which either has double meaning,
Right.
or is letting you down, or is a dent on your confidence. It could be anything.
Right.
If you smile, that means you are a soft target, and you will lose respect in the face of in the eyes of your teams. Okay.
True.
If you retaliate, you are aggressive. And if you go and use the safe passage, then you're a crybaby. Making a mountain out of a molehill. So, some problems you have to solve with wit and humor. Some you have to give it back there and then. And when something is about someone senior, really old, really brilliant, really intelligent,
Then
not
use
your
caution.
match, in your head you think, then you use that safe passage.
Safe passage.
But ideally, fight your battles, fight them there and then. अगर 2 दिन के बाद हिम्मत आती है, 2 दिन के बाद जाके बोल दो. I was meaning to have this conversation with you. You know, you said that day. It sounded like this. Maybe you were saying it like that, but it sounded like this. So don't do it again. Finish it off. If you will keep on festering it inside you, you are going to get very frustrated at work. You will fall in your own eyes and you will take it out at home. So finish it off. Somewhere it will come out. Finish it off. You know, there is, in my own organization, about a decade back, a very respectable man, he came and said, my team was there, his team was there. We were having a very sensible discussion. When in the middle of that, suddenly he said, you know, her bag costs so much. So I'm sure inside her bag must be so much.
How does it matter
I
to them?
cannot tell you, I threw such a scene there. I was like, I was uncontrollable. Okay. And I took a written apology from him. वो written apology मैंने जाके अपने locker में रखी. तब जाके मैं शांत हुई.
Obviously, mother, why are you supposed to take crap from people? Neither is he paying for the bag, nor is he taking care of things.
I could have easily said, thank you so much that you're keeping track of what I spend on. हंसी मजाक में मैं टाल सकती थी. I could have even said, oh, great, you think I'm richer than what I am. So good. That's good. It's good to look rich when you're not rich. Doesn't matter. I could have let it off in wit and humor. But my team was looking at me. Those 3 girls in that room, they just said, the executive director is letting this pass. They would have let everything pass that he would have ever said to them.
So that's an example you're giving it to the team, right? That you need to raise.
सो
Yeah.
हाँ, मैं तो रिटन अपॉलजी ली, वो भी एचआर के सामने, वो भी पूरी इंक्वायरी बिठाई, उन सबको विटनेस बनाए कि हाँ इन्होंने मुझे ऐसे बोला। देखा जाएगा जो जाएगा। ईडी से जूनियर ईडी तो बना नहीं देंगे, और अगर मेरा कहना नहीं मानेंगे तो मैं यहाँ बैठी किस लिए हुई हूँ? अपनी बेइज्जती कराने आ रही हूँ।
True.
So
I
the
would
thing
applaud
is,
that.
you all must go and see this movie called Lapata Ladies. It's the story, like we are 4 women here. It's the story of 4 women with different background, different journey, different personality, and how they find their way.
Okay.
And
Wow.
so inspiring if they can do it. So it actually shows आपके घर से चाहे कितना ही रेजिस्टेंस हो कि आप काम करें नहीं करें, पढ़ाई करें नहीं करें, आपके फैमिली दैट यू मैरी इनटू चाहे कितना ही रेजिस्टेंस हो, चाहे आप उनसे कितना ही प्यार करते हो, आपके बच्चों की चाहे जितनी मर्जी आप पे जिम्मेदारी हो, आपके ओल्ड पेरेंट्स चाहे जितने मर्जी बीमार हो, अगर आपने कुछ
You have to
करना है,
stand.
यू
You
विल
have to stand for
फाइंड अ
yourself.
वे, आप यू विल फाइंड अ वे। बट अगर आपको मन नहीं कर रहा है ना वो करने का, either the company is not worth it,
Have a
or
reason.
the bosses are third rate, or you are not, the product is only third rate, or it's taking too much physically, it's not worth traveling there, then you will find that one excuse to get you out of that place.
And that is what, no, when you're talking
But
about why
if the
factor,
reason is big enough, and if it matches with what you actually want in life for yourself, aap lage raho Munna bhai, you will be there, and you'll make sure you get what you have to do.
exactly.
Everyone sitting here, like Anusuya ji, she's done her PhD along with her work. I did my, और मेरा तो
Very
पूरा
commendable.
education ही job के साथ हुआ है. I did my MA, I did my B.Ed, I did my MBA, I did my PhD, I did my digital marketing
Wow.
from MIT. All that I did along with my job. And job be 24/7 wala job. At one point of time, there would be 25,000, 30,000 customers. That's why I'm used to never switching my phone off.
True.
So if you want to do something, you will do it. And the day you decide, "Nahi, mujhe ye nahi karna, mujhe kuch aur karna," you will do that. And again, I will tell you the third thing. We working women have such amazing discipline and time management.
Agreed. 100% agreed.
That we can do everything. Along with all of this, I did my Sangeet Prabhakar from Prayag Sangeet Samiti.
Very good.
I learned I joined every dance workshop, and I learn every dance form because I don't like to go to the gym. Fitness कहाँ होगा? चलो डांस ही कर ले,
You love
नए
dance,
फ्रेंड्स भी
so
बन
actually
जाते हैं.
that too, which
So
you like.
all of this happened with my thing. Then whether I'm writing blogs or writing articles or writing papers or whatever I'm doing, या रिसर्च वर्क ही कर रहे हैं, या ये प्रो बोनो एक्टिविटीज कितनी कर रहे हैं सोनल आप और हम. We are
Absolutely.
working for gender integration. We are working for startup incubator. We are working for water saving. How are we able to do all this? So again, they will comment. They say, "अच्छा, madam, आप तो ये सब करते रहते हैं. अभी आप उस panel discussion में थे. अभी आप उस panel discussion, आप तो ये सब करते रहते हैं. आपको time कैसे मिल जाता है? काम भी कर ले और ये भी कर ले." That's a microaggression. You just say, "I don't take smoke breaks. I don't spend nights at bars. I don't go early morning to the golf. So I can manage my time. I can do my work,
So our priorities
and
are
I can
different.
do this also."
No, our priorities are different. That's what we talk
True,
about.
true.
Don't let, I'm saying, लड़ाई नहीं करनी है, हर जगह तलवार निकाल के झांसी की रानी नहीं बनना है, रानी लक्ष्मीबाई नहीं बनना है आपने,
जब जरूरत हो वहां निकाल लो.
लेकिन आपने, you are not a doormat.
True.
आप जो
100%.
डिसाइड करोगे ना, ये औकात है, आपकी वही औकात बनेगी. You decide whether you need a safe channel or you are safer than the safe channel. मेरे साथ किसी ने बदतमीजी की नहीं, टच वुड, आई होप आगे भी मत करे कोई, लेकिन nobody thought of me as a man or a woman in real estate, and nobody had the courage to misbehave with me at all. People keep on saying ये हुआ, very sad, very sorry कि कुछ भी हुआ. Please look for that safe channel, but make yourself the safest channel if you can.
Very well said, ma'am. So I think, everybody has to just raise and fight your own battle. Like you said, कि नहीं कुछ समझ आ रहा हो, situation हाथ से बाहर है, फिर safe channel तो है ही आपके पास, so reach out then. But first try and fight your own battles there. Very nice.
Yeah.
So,
And don't question one more thing before this, though time is short, डोंट क्वेश्चन योर ओन सेंसिबिलिटी कि शायद मैंने कुछ बोला था इसलिए उसने मुझे ये बोला. 90% टाइम तो अपने को ब्लेम. इंट्रोस्पेक्शन, इतना ज्यादा इंट्रोस्पेक्शन होता है.
शायद
Aditi said
हम
that
गलत
कि
सोच
you
रहे
know
हैं.
इतना सोच सोच के प्रॉब्लम बड़ी हो छोटी हो, जरूरत से ज्यादा मत सोचो.
True.
Don't find too much fault in yourself. Thanks, that's all.
Thank you so much, ma'am. So here, my next question would come to Dr. Roy. Can you throw some light on the kind of parental leave policies we need to have in order to promote gender balance in caregiving responsibilities?
Yes. So uh, I would slightly go a little bit off here, and because somehow, fortunately, my life has been, my partner has been very supportive of whatever that I have been doing, and from my family, I never faced any resistance to do whatever that I wanted to do in life, and so I have got wonderful men at home who had kind of always uplifted me. But what I have always felt is the fact that um, men are given certain responsibilities as well in this whole ecosystem. For example, if I talk about financial implications or monetary responsibilities that comes to a family, primarily of it has been taken care by men, and that too without without kind of talking about it very clearly, right? So normally what happens is the men in the family are supposed to take care of finances. That is something that is inbuilt in them, and therefore there is always
There's
pressure.
a thought process. Yeah.
Yes. Although that is not the case. That is absolutely not the case in this scenario, right? I think the expenses are divided in most of the families now, but still at the back of their mind, they are always there is always a fright that what if I am not able to provide for my family? What if I am not able to provide for my son and my daughter and my wife? Uh, because to us, sometimes it becomes a choice, right? Sometimes it becomes okay, I have a baby now, I will not work for 2 years. That choice is never given to men. I'm sorry that I'm sounding a little biased towards them, but this is something that I have seen happening in my own life. um, I always felt that they are not recognized enough for the financial support that they sometimes give to family, and this only happens in parts of India or Asia perhaps, because in the Western world, I think all the expenses are divided, and no matter what, you have to pay for your child as well. You're somehow the men kind of are supposed to manage for the child. So having said that, when you have a child or when you just deliver a baby, the tremendous responsibility comes to the man, because now the man automatically thinks that the women will be kind of course, of the challenges that she will face at work and all of that. Of course, that some repercussion comes to home as well, and there is a huge responsibility. The responsibility kind of increases manifold. And during that time, during when the man has also become a new parent, because we have become new mothers, they have also become new fathers. Instead of being at home, automatically that person thinks that I have to strive for more, I have to work more, so that this somehow balances out. And uh, from the man's perspective, it is very difficult for him to go talk to their seniors and tell that, okay, I just had a baby, can we get a parental leave? Everybody will laugh at him, nobody will listen to him at
Now,
this.
most of the organizations do have parental leave for fathers as well.
Yes, but that is significantly shorter than the
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes. So I think that even if that policy is there, if I look around myself, and I look around the new fathers, that kind of, because I'm from that generation who, my friends are becoming fathers, my friends are becoming mothers. I never saw that the father is taking a parental leave. I never saw that. And I can talk in my case also. My husband never stopped working when I had a baby, and he grew all the more frantic, so that because he now knew at that point of time, he thought maybe that I will take some time to bounce back to work, but that did not happen. But still, there was a worry in him that, some family expenses has to be kind of taken care by him. So I feel that, a job security is a big issue, because they feel that if they take a parental leave and they come back, maybe they might be demoted. There might be some complications regarding to the very complex corporate hierarchy that is there. um, you know and also the fact that the compensation that they're getting at that point of time becomes very important, because the other person is kind of on the low, so the other person has to kind of push it up. But again, like circling back to what I have said, the awareness is not there. If it comes from the leadership positions, that this
The
has to be.
policies, the awareness, I think, very well said on those bases. So I think, it has to come from the organization, that it has to be accepted as a policy and as a culture, that, parental leaves have to be given to men also, because they have additional responsibilities to take care of the family. If it's not only mother and child, it's the father also is a part of the family. I think that sensitization is very important from the
Yes.
organization perspective.
Yes.
Great. Wonderful. So thank you so much, Ms. Roy. So one last closing statement I would love to have from all of you on your thoughts on this special Women Day for uplifting women. So I can start with Dr. Ananta.
Sorry, what did you say? One uplifting thought?
One thought on Women's Day for uplifting women. So one closing statement from you.
Be as happy as you can be. Do whatever gives you happiness. You will radiate and spread love and light, because that is what the world needs. Just spread as much love as you can, and you can only spread love if you're doing things that you love. God bless
Okay.
everybody, and a very happy Women's Day.
Very, very well said, ma'am. Thank you so much. How about you, Mr. White? One closing statement from you.
I think this would be a repetition of what Dr. Ananta had said, but this line I resonate with her a lot, that the fact that we can do whatever that we want to do, and if we do not want to do, that's an excuse, because we have tremendous work-life balance. We have very good managerial skills, be it time management or people management. If we are finding an excuse, if we are finding it difficult not to do something, it is an excuse, because there is no shortcoming in us to become what we achieve to become.
Perfect. Very well said. How about you, Aditi? Last statement from you.
Yes, in continuity to both the panelists, one thing is that yes, being organized helps so much. So to the entrepreneur or any woman, be employee or anything. So if for entrepreneurs, I would say that इरादा पक्का है तो जीत अवश्य होगी, and passion को performance में convert करना ही entrepreneurship कहलाता है. So this is for the true entrepreneurs there, who are the future leaders of the country and who are trying to contribute towards the economy as well. So yes, for everyone rather. Yeah.
Perfectly well said. Thank you so much. Thank you for all the three speakers for joining us on this special session. Do we have any questions? I can't see many questions there, but in case anybody has a question, they can post it here. Otherwise, we would like to close this session.
They can send questions even later, Sonal, and you can forward them. We'll reply on email if required.
Perfect. So, audience, you can send your questions to either Rohan or Rajanji, and we will take it up with all the speakers. And I'm sure, any questions will be perfectly taken care by the speakers here. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, everyone.
Sonal, you have been an amazing moderator, and Rohan and Rajanji, thank you so much for inviting us all. A very happy Women's Day, a very happy Women's Day to all the men also, because honestly, Anusuya said it right. Our grandfathers, our fathers, our husbands, even our sons, all of them motivate us to keep going and keep doing good things. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone. Happy Women's Day.
Happy Women's Day.
Happy Women's Day. Thank you for inviting us.
Yeah.
Thank you. Bye. See you.
Bye. We really enjoyed. Thanks, Sonal.
Thank you so much, ma'am. See you.